Priscilla.
And you are listening to Melanin Confessions. We have a really exciting show for you today, but first we want to tell you a little bit about ourselves. So, Melanin Confessions is a podcast with a few friends of ours, and we're just going to be talking about some issues within the Black community. If you're interested in learning more, just check out our website at melaninconfessions.wordpress.com.
Alright, so we're going to hit you with our current events, and the topic of today is Rihanna. We have two stories on her. One where she's wearing this coat, she's meeting the president from France, and she cute. And a lot of people would disagree with that statement.
I am one of them.
Yeah, okay.
I am. So, basically about her coat, if you guys haven't seen the picture, she is wearing like this big, heavy sports coat that looks like it belongs to like a man, like a...
What'd you say, a 6 foot man?
Like a 7 foot, 350 pound man. That's what it looks like. It's just like she's drowning in the coat. And I was very confused when I saw the picture because, you know, she was meeting the president of France or the prime minister. And, yeah, so I just didn't like the outfit choice. But
So what I had to say about that, honestly, when I saw the picture, you guys can Google it, France, Rihanna, find it easily. It looked like she had an entire outfit underneath there, like a whole suit. So I don't know if she walked into the office with that and walked out wearing that man's jacket on top of her, but I just assumed she was outside. I saw the picture. She was outside, so could have been cold. She could have been chilly, and she was just like, put the jacket on, and this is why I look like this, and that's that. Could have been her outfit choice. That's fashion. I don't know. It's not my fashion, but it could honestly be like she's making a statement about something. So
I just feel like she's Rihanna, and she has paid all of her dues, and she can do no wrong. Like, it doesn't matter. Dress how you want to dress. Be cute. She's cute in the face, and she's just a beautiful person. So it just doesn't matter. Like wear what you want.
Yeah. Also, you were talking about what are some of the haters or people who are defending her saying? Like, can you share on that?
Yeah, so I saw a video on Facebook from, I believe it was Vox.com. They uploaded a video with people's comments regarding her outfit choice and how a lot of her fans were talking about how her, like the people who had commented on how she was dressing, how it wasn't professional or whatever, were saying that they were over sexualizing her body in the past, so she shouldn't have to cover up in order to make them, if that's not what they expected, or, you know, it just kind of spun the conversation to a direction that I think had nothing to do with the coat. Because if you see the picture of the coat, it's quite obviously that she's just swimming in this big old coat that doesn't belong to her.
But she cute, though. It doesn't matter.
But she's meeting the president of France. I don't know.
Okay,
There's right. It looks like a diplomatic situation. Judging from the pictures, I don't know.
Right.
I wasn't there, but
some say she's making a statement on something. That could be true.
Only she
I don't know.
knows.
The last time I checked, France's head of state was not popular. Much like our president is not popular. So, look, I don't know. If I was going to go meet Trump, would I dress to impress? Probably not. I would probably... you know what? Maybe. Knowing me, maybe, actually. I probably would. But I don't have a ton of respect for him right now, so...
Who, Macron or?
Trump. So I would probably just
Yeah.
wear whatever.
And with that being said, when I was thinking about it, just because you're meeting trash doesn't mean you have to go and dress like trash. You don't have to dress like it to
But she wasn't dressed like
She wasn't
trash.
dressed like trash. I feel like that outfit underneath looked nice. I don't know why she was wearing the jacket. Again, I feel like it was just because it was cold. And if it wasn't because it was cold, big clothes on people just feel cozy. They feel like blankets, and they have sleeves in them. So that could be another reason.
That's
but
true.
there's that topic. And then the other topic is Rihanna with her post...
Yeah, she was at a carnival of some
Barbados.
sort.
Yeah, Barbados. She goes there,
That's her home.
annually? Does that?
That's her home. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Carnival.
so, when she posted a picture, Chris Brown commented on it.
Get out her life. Leave her alone.
He commented with the eye emoji.
The like, I see
The
you.
looking, I see you emoji. You've seen her
out.
finally? Okay.
Nah, I feel all sorts of ways about that. I just want him to recognize his place. You remember, we're going to talk about this later, but remember in Girls Trip where she told her trifling husband to go sit down?
Sit down.
Yeah.
That's
now.
Somebody needs to tell Chris Brown to sit down.
And stay sitting.
Stay down.
Stay sitting. Yes.
I honestly thought, like, what is your little, oh, I see you face gonna do? Like, that little emoji. That doesn't do much of anything. Rihanna's living her life. She is doing her, so she doesn't really, he gave me the eyes. The circular oval emoji eyes.
He's still thinking about me.
In the same way. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just think Chris Brown may or may not be trying to stay relevant. Maybe his career.
Oh, yikes.
Maybe he's trying to, boost his career, get more views on his Instagram page. Who knows? People get desperate or they try to get attention.
I'm like, even if, I was wondering that myself, but I'm like, maybe there's a bunch of people, maybe your fans out there who are listening to Chris Brown all the time. You're like, what are you talking about? He's relevant every single day. That could be true. I'm just not one of them listening, and I don't know if he's relevant, so.
Dang. I never thought about that.
Yeah, I think, because he knows what people will see that he commented. Like, he knows that.
It's just stirring the pot.
Yeah, he's stirring the pot. He's slithering right in, but, he knows that nothing will ever happen. Yeah.
Just slither like
slither
a snake.
On, yeah.
Banished to the ground by God.
Now let's banish that negativity and let us move for another topic. So that's enough about Rihanna. You can both check out both her stories, find it anywhere online. Everybody's posting it up.
His head. Okay.
So next, I wanted to talk about Step, this movie that came out earlier in August. Still pretty early now. I'm excited to see it. I haven't seen it yet. And it's basically about Black women of all different ages. They're coming together, they're standing together, and they're making a difference through Step. And if you watch the trailer, that's all you really need to do. You need to just watch it to see how it's a documentary, to see the change and the uplifting of Black women. And I thought that was really cool, and I'm super interested to watch it because I want to see Black women in all different stages of life, see how Black women are lifted up, see them in positivity as opposed to seeing them in negativity, which we often see in the media anyway. So this is another step in the right direction.
That was cute. Cool. So now we're going to talk about Black excellence because we all know that Black is excellent. And I just wanted to take a minute to talk about little Miss Flint. She is so cute and she is doing her thing. Little Miss Flint, this week, she gave away 1,000 backpacks to little kids in Michigan. And she said at the end, Blavity, this article is actually on blavity.com, and we will link that in our blog at melaninconfessions.wordpress.com. And she said, I'm just a Flint kid who wants to help Flint kids. And I was like, girl, change the world, baby girl. Change the world.
Yeah, that's really great about Miss Flint, or Little Miss Flint. Also, great news coming out of Flint, Michigan, on a positive note as well. There's actually a Black woman-owned construction company by the name of W.T. Stevens Construction, which has been hired to do contract work in order to rebuild the pipes in Flint, Michigan, which is great news.
Finally.
After since when?
2014, isn't it?
2014?
Yeah.
It's been
ridiculous.
Way too long. But it's great that one of the companies on the contract to rebuild the pipes in Michigan are a Black woman-owned company, which is great. So, and according to the Huffington Post, which posted this article, the W.T. Stevens Construction has hired a lot more staff in order to get this project done, including young people and past like felons and people who may struggle to find job and work within the community. So check out the article. We'll also post it to our blog at melaninconfessions.wordpress.com. So check it out.
And to continue on with the Black excellence, if you guys haven't watched Moonlight on Tidal, you need to see it. You need to watch it and get out there because it is really saying something. It's really good. I don't want to ruin everything that it's about, but if y'all seen Friends and you've seen the white version, you're gonna see a little bit of the black version on Tidal.
Get that free trial, girl.
Get that free trial. Watch it. Laugh. There's people like Issa Rae in it. There's people like Tiffany Haddish.
That fine guy from Get Out.
Mm-hmm. They all.
Oh yeah.
The cop. If he's your type.
Oh
yes.
yeah. The cop is him too.
They're all on that 6-minute episode. So if you're like, I ain't got time to watch that, you got time. You got 6 minutes. It's hilarious. To change your life. Mm-hmm. You will love it.
And it's produced by Jay-Z, right? Mm-hmm. Or it's directed or founded by Jay-Z.
It's a song on his album, I think. It's a song on his 444 album.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice. Very cool. I need to check it out.
It's freaking good.
Yes.
We'll do that. We'll fix that today.
We'll do it.
Just fix that right after this.
All right, y'all. Well, that's what we have for Black Excellence. Not that there's not more to go around. There is. Mm-hmm.
How about comment on our blog even more occurrences of Black excellence that you've heard?
Yes, comment. Please. Let us know so we can let other people know the Black excellence that's out there.
If you have something excellent going on that you're doing, we want to hear about that too. So comment and share at melaninconfessions.wordpress.com.
She gonna keep pushing that in there so that you know where we are from.
All right, so now we're gonna get into our topic for the day. This is maybe the reason why you clicked on this podcast, but we're going to talk about Black friendship, sisterhood, and the hit movie Girls Trip. Mm-hmm. We all went to see it 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
And it was amazing.
Still fresh
really
in my
great.
mind, yeah.
Yeah, it was hilarious too, on top of all that.
I watched it 3 times in theaters.
I saw it twice in theaters. I'm going to hit my 3rd, though. I'm going to get in there.
Hey, we got to give our dollars to the Black directors and
yes.
producers and stuff. So keep watching it. I'm going to keep watching it too.
Definitely. If you haven't seen that movie, go check it out. Maybe check it out before you see this episode because there will probably be spoilers. If you haven't seen it 3 weeks in, then that's just really not our fault. I'm so sorry.
Yes.
Maybe they're waiting for it to go out on Redbox. Who knows? You never know.
Can't wait on something like this. You cannot.
So let's talk about it a little bit. What was your favorite part of the movie Girls Trip? Like, if you could pick one scene that you were just like, jam, this is a lituation.
There is not one specific, because honestly, the whole thing, I went to see it 3 times because I loved the entire thing. So, I mean, piece by piece, I could go through it. Like, I enjoyed how I could see a little bit of every Black woman that I knew in those women. And I enjoyed the fact that, let's see, who was Tiffany? Her
Haddish.
character. Yeah, Tiffany Haddish, her character, even though she was a little bit the one who was known for, like, partying hard and getting those... Yes. Even though she was known for that, I didn't, like, it didn't turn me off that was her personality. Because oftentimes when we see the Black woman and she's like a street chick and she's likes to sleep with multiple different men, you know, that stereotype, it seems like such a negative thing. But when Tiffany Haddish, she portrayed it, it was more of this is what Black women actually are. Not all Black women, but this is how it looks from our perspective as opposed to what media says about us.
Yeah.
And the fact that she loved her friends so much and cared about them so much. I just loved every one of their characters.
Yeah, I agree. And I also like the fact that through Girls Trip, it shows, like what you were saying, it's not like the one-dimensional stereotypical Black woman that, you know, white Hollywood would usually portray. And that's like, you know, every character in the movie had different personalities or different career paths, or they all graduated from college together, and
they graduated college. Can we get like Black women? All of them graduated college.
And going off of Black women graduating college, did you know that Black women are the
most educated,
the most educated ethnic / or racial / gender group in the country? So,
US,
Black excellence right there.
It's awesome. Favorite part. I asked the question and did not have an answer. I don't know. I love the whole movie too. I'm definitely gonna go see it a couple more times. Everything about it was just so real. Like, you can be best friends with your friends one minute, and the other minute you can all, like, despise each other. But at the end of the day, you love each other. And that's all that. And it's something, that whole relational piece, I think, is something that is really unique to Black womanhood. And, like, Black female friendships, sisterhoods in particular. So I loved that they were able to depict that, and then that the people who were watching the movies were diverse, and then that the people who, like, got something out of it, like, yeah, there was something for everybody.
I remember after the first time that I watched it, I wrote a little snippet, found it, a little snippet of how I felt about the movie for the first time. So I can read that, let you know how I felt when I walked into the theaters the first time. It just made me realize how much I wanted to be around my friends again. And, you know, because when you're always working, you're grinding, you're trying to get everything done, you don't necessarily take that time to go and hang out with your friends. So what I felt was this movie was everything that I unintentionally been missing out on. It's safe to say that I haven't laughed like this in a long time, and it's true. Where Beyonce's album opened up wounds of being a Black woman, this movie brought laughter and fun of being a Black woman. The strength of Black women and girls is like nothing else when I watch this movie. I could see myself as every character or like a part of the Flossy Posse. And this movie descended into theaters like the perfect cure for the lost time between old friends. It was the moment of being real, beautiful, and being a Black woman. Kind of how I felt like right after I walked out of the theaters. I just loved it. There's so many moments, even when they get to the point where they have all this fun and they're laughing and they come back to the hotel, and again, Tiffany's character, who's Dina, she reminds them, let's sit down, let's pray, let's thank God for this moment. And in that moment of the scene, I'm like, oh, that just, you laugh and then you get real, and it's a wonderful feeling. So.
Yeah, definitely. And I also like, throughout the movie, you know, they're at the Essence Fest, which is all about Black everything. Like, Black love, Black hair, Black culture, everything. And it's...
business.
Black business, entrepreneurship, and empowering one another. And it's like a real event. That's cool. Like, it's actually an actual event.
That we get to go to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like a very nice contextual space where we can just... you know, be ourselves. And the movie portrayed that really well, too. So, yeah.
Yeah. That movie was the representation that we needed for, like, several years of misrepresentation. Mm-hmm. It made up for a lot of lost time. Okay. So, with all of our good takeaways from that movie, there were, like, some really interesting reviews on Girls Trip as a whole. And I read this one in particular that I'm going to bring up because it really rubbed me some kind of way, which is fine, whatever, do you. But it was from Focus on the Family.
Oh.
And first of all, I'm not entirely sure why Focus on the Family was reviewing Girls Trip at all.
Because it's a rated R movie?
I don't know why.
Someone went in there and watched it.
Right. Actually, yeah. So this guy named Bob, no joke. Homeboy's name was Bob. Okay. Not trying to be facetious. He went in to watch and review this movie. He gave it 0.5 out of 5. And this is on Focus on the Family's Plugged In. You can check out this article. I am not going to link this on our page.
Yes.
So if you want to do your own Googling research and spend your time, you can. But one thing that he says, Focus on the Family, when they do movie reviews, they break it up into sections. So it'll be like actual plot, and then they'll base things on content. So he does a section called spiritual content. So he says the film sports a very peculiar spiritual disconnect, especially when it comes to the character of Dina. She is the most, how do you say that word?
Raucous?
Ruckus, yeah. Ruckus and crude of the group, but can shift spiritual gears in a heartbeat with absolutely no apparent awareness of that incongruity. For instance, after repeatedly encouraging Lisa to have sex with any random man, Dina crudely and graphically sings the praises of one man's anatomy, then suggesting that the good Lord, in quotations, gave Lisa access to it. Then she immediately falls to her knees to earnestly thank Jesus for her friends and their weekend. And I was like, this is interesting, right? Because this is a presumably not black man. He's a man, first of all. So he is not a black woman trying to interpret black womanhood. Mm-hmm. And I think that spiritually, in the black community, we have like this whole understanding. We have a different understanding of like mercy and forgiveness and God's goodness, right? And we consider blessings in a different way than maybe members of like the evangelical or white community does. And so this review for me, all in all, was just like he was bashing something that he does not understand. And I don't know, I think that in some ways is like beautiful. The movie is beautiful in that it's so unique, but what do we do for people who just don't understand? Is it our responsibility to care that he rated this movie that he has no understanding of?
Well, I can't say that this movie is for him, honestly.
That's true.
It's not for him. It wasn't directed for you. It wasn't when people are in the marketing team and they're making these posters, they're not directed at someone who's a white male. It was mostly for black women, was what it looked like. Girls Trip, you got 4 black women, the lives of black women, that's what it's going to be about. So if you're not into that or interested in that, then you know this isn't for you. And if you also come into the theater with a mindset of hate, then I don't know how he walked in, but if you come in with a mindset of hate and you're like, I'm not going to enjoy any piece of this movie, then what are you going to come out with? Oh, I actually enjoyed that. Not everybody comes out that way. And this is for the way I saw it, like I said, was with Beyonce's Lemonade album, and then you have her sisters, Don't Touch My Hair, that whole thing that started to spiral together and lifting up black women. And there's many other people, Ava DuVernay and all these other people out there who are working to lift up the black community. So this was just another step in lifting up the black community. And maybe we don't have to go like, hey, you should know this or that about... If he doesn't have a black person in his life to tell him that, do we go and shove it down his throat? Like, there are so many people who would just comment and be like, well, you don't understand, and all that negativity. Do we continue on that, or do we just let it go because it's healing more people than, when I walked into that place, I felt healing, I felt laughter like I've never laughed before with anything in a long time. And I imagine... The one thing that I really loved when I walked into the theater, and I watched this 3 times, was the fact that every time that I watched it, the whole crowd, there was a crowd of black people, and you hear us all laughing together. You hear us all making comments during the movie, and no one's like, oh, why are you talking during the movie? It was a black presence in that theater, and people enjoyed themselves, and they laughed really loud, and it felt like we're all together. We're all healing together. When I went to go get popcorn at the theater, the black lady was like, you about to go see Girls Trip? And I was like, how'd you know? That was the only movie that I came there to see, and she knew it, and we bonded over that. And so there was bonding, there was healing going on, and one guy's statement about something he doesn't understand, or just being so directly negative, like, oh, she went and prayed for this, and, as a Christian woman, I still see good things in that movie, and I'm not solely focused on the fact that she made remarks or comments about, oh, God sent you that man, There's some things that are joked about, like, hey, it's a laughter. It's not some serious thing that she's telling a bunch of other black little girls to go and pray over some man.
Right. That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, I think, with Bob's comment on focus on the family, he was talking about, just like those, those 2 scenes where Dina sees the random man, and then, one thing that he mentioned, that kind of was caught me off guard was, where he says, then she immediately falls to her knees earnestly to thank Jesus for her friends and their weekend. as if she's not as if she's not allowed to, I guess. Because it wasn't like if you see the movie, the scene does not automatically go, to that scene. But what I liked in the movie, given it's not a Christian movie, warning, it's not.
Rated R.
It's rated R, explicit content.
Right.
You're going to see some things.
Yeah, you're going to see many things. But I think it's important to highlight, like you mentioned, like the overall theme of this Black womanhood. And I just like the part where Dina, she does get on her knees. She's praying in her room, and then her friends walk in and they're like, "Are you praying?" She's like,
thank you for this.
Jesus loves me too. And then and then they all get on their knees, and then they're all just praying as friends, because it's true. Like, Jesus does love everybody, and I wish he had highlighted that particular comment that she made in the movie. Given, of course, this is not a family focused on the family type of film, so it's not a Disney film.
Disney, is that focused on the film?
I don't know.
It's not.
That's a whole nother topic.
Right. I guess, going into the movie, there's obviously going to be like disconnect with him and his lack of
and his
relatability
background, where
to
he
the
comes
movie.
from.
Yeah, but I did really like the part where she's like, Jesus loves me too, because I really like that part.
Yeah.
But, yep.
Definitely.
That made me, like, thinking about that part and her just praying to God. It's like, as a Black woman, God loves you and he cares about you, and even with everything that's going on in her life, even the choices she still made, she still is connected to God. Every one of those women are still connected to God. They know who God is, and it's not like she would never even pray to him, and she was just like going hard in her life and was like, I don't need Jesus, I don't need help, I don't need any of that. So I felt like when I watched that scene that it was intentional to put that in there, because oftentimes a whole movie can go without the mention of the word God or Jesus, like prayer. A whole movie, a regular movie about a girl's trip, you can watch what is that? The
Rough Night Girls.
Rough Night or something. It was Rough Night, and that was a movie that came out a couple of weeks before a girl's trip, and it ain't that good. But it also, I don't think there was a mention of God unless they were using his name out of context. So I'm like, that's another example of another girls' weekend, girls' trip that went down, and they didn't mention God, and I felt like that was an intentional, important scene that they put in there. And it's something that a lot of Black women that I know and myself carry God, and it's something that I needed to see. So,
going off of that, do you think, I want to know both of your opinions, with movies within the Black community, are, movies about, okay, are movies about, or parts of the movie where there's like a certain storyline, right? Like, the Medea movies, or, Tyler Perry movies, or even like, I don't know, other films. I'm drawing blank. Yes. But there's always like a certain blueprint where like we talk about this, there's this, and then there's
we cover all the Black God. Essential stereotypes, and then is that what you're talking about?
No, I'm saying like there's a part about like family, or there's a part about God, and then it's
everything else.
Well, okay, I'm just thinking about Tyler Perry movies. That's what's on my mind. Like, I'm just saying, in Black, what I've noticed with Black films, there's always like that note of God in it. And yeah, I just want to know if you guys want to speak on that too.
I think what Versil said was right earlier. She said like part of Black womanhood is knowing God. And I think that's part of Black culture, especially in America, because so many of our grandparents, right, our great-grandparents raised our grandparents to know God and to have Christ as a part of your life. And so I feel like in some ways, I think in all ways, most ways, that's beneficial. And I think that in some ways it's like a cultural just something cultural that people grasp onto without completely understanding all the time.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes that's detrimental when you're just given something instead of like learning about it. But I love that part of our culture. Like, I love that even though maybe not every Black human is a theologian, that they know from grandma's words to call on Jesus at the end of the day. Like, if something is hard or something's difficult, man, you should really go pray about that. Like, we should really call on God together. Even if they don't fully understand, like, the magnitude of prayer, Black people will pray. And it will have an impact. And I think that's incredible. I love that part of our culture.
That being said, there may not be, that's not every Black person, but that is the majority of us, I feel. And for the women right now speaking in this room, that is our story. And so to see that on a screen in a movie theater, that was something that was truly important to put out there.
Yeah.
But also, I just have to, because I've been thinking about it, to mention all the men that showed up in that film. Yes! Like, all the men.
Kofi, I'm out here. Kofi.
We got a Kofi fan out here. If you guys have seen Love Jones or any other movie, like, oh.
He's so beautiful.
He hasn't aged.
He has not.
He hasn't aged. He looks like he's 25.
Lorenz Tate. Oh,
Yeah,
my gosh. You're beautiful.
I saw, like, in my head, I was like, Love Jones, as soon as he walked through the door. It was great to see him. And all the people, even since it was the Essence Festival, you see all different people in there. Who was that? We were just talking about him. Mark, the Black man. Mark Lauren? Is that his last name?
Mark Lawrence.
That?
Morris Chestnut.
Yes, yeah, you knew where I was going. Morris Chestnut, he was in there. You have P. Diddy, if you're into that. He was in there.
If you're into that.
There's a scene where, and I ain't into that, but like, there's a scene where Dina, she's over there, she's like, oh, I'm about to go make me a baby. She runs over there and gets VIP and gets into the VIP and gets on stage and dances with him for a little bit. So I was just like, oh, I think, what was it, Faith Evans. She was on stage too. Mariah Carey. Who else? There's so many people in there.
It was so
good. What's her name? Ilanza Vizant.
And then
I don't know her name.
What's her name? Also the when she grabs the lady's arm and tries to take a picture of her. Estelle.
Oh yeah.
I was dying because she does an accent. She's like, "Oh, I'm going to tag you in this picture." She's like, "Please don't." She just walks away. It's so great.
Gosh, it's so good.
All these different Black people from all different walks of life.
Oh my gosh.
Just thrown in that movie, and that was great.
And it's Black girl magic. Like that.
It really
I know.
was.
Whenever we get together, all of my Black girls, it's just like always magic. Like I don't even have to know you. I don't know how long these people, Queen Latifah, right, and Jada Pinkett probably have known each other for a while and been close. But I don't know how long this group of people was together making this movie, but they had such good
chemistry on screen, yeah.
Oh my gosh. I love that.
And I also loved how, they're in New Orleans too, and even like the street performers or, the people playing the trumpets and the saxophones and the trombones and tubas. Oh, I just loved it so much. It's just like
you felt it, yeah.
Yeah, it was like a wonderful, wonderful, real setting. It was actually happening. So
it was actually happening.
It wasn't just set up for the movie, which is awesome.
Awesome.
Yes.
It was so good. So definitely go see that movie.
Yeah, and if you see the movie, share with us. Tell us, what is your favorite part? What did you love about it? What is it that you just couldn't get enough about it? And just share it with us. We'd love to hear it from you. If you're like, well, that man Bob was right, say your opinion. We want to hear it. We want to see your side of the story. We want to share with our brothers and sisters out there listening. So, like, what do you guys have to say about this?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Well, we're going to wrap it up there because we want you to have time in your day to go be excellent. So, thank you so much for listening to Melanin Confessions. Please tune in for our next episode. We're going to be starting a series just about like dating and what it means to be a Black woman in the dating world, what that looks like in places where Black men are not, like here. But in the meantime, just go like our social media. So you can find us on Facebook at Mela Confessions, MELA Confessions. You can find us on Twitter at Mela Confessions. And you can find us on Instagram at Melanin Confessions. And you're probably listening to this via a SoundCloud link. So make sure to follow us there too. We would love to hear from you and get to know y'all.
And if there are any more subjects that you would want us to talk about, please comment below on any of those forms of social media. So stay connected.
Stay connected. Thank you so much for listening. Stay excellent. Bye.